Hello and welcome to another video of Magna Forex Institute. This video will be the first video in our new series Psychology 101. When you are new to the Forex market, most traders approach the Forex market from the technical side and ignore the psychological side of the Forex market. And when they ignore the psychological side of the Forex market, they will find that they will have problems as they go on and on in the Forex market, because they will have mental barriers that will prevent them from achieving consistency and allow them to generate an income from forex trading. Psychology is very essential when it comes to trading, because our mind tends to have certain traits that limit us from achieving consistency in the forex market. This is not our fault, because most of these traits come from our ancestors. Take, for example, if you perceive a trade to be a loser, it is registered in your mind as a threat. This comes from the trait where our ancestors were being attacked by anything that was perceived to them as a threat, and they had self-defense mechanisms to help them survive against that threat. This same trait occurs to you when you perceive a trade is going to be a loser. You tend to take actions that you think will help you avoid the loss, but will eventually affect your trading overall. So in this video, I'll be sharing insights on what traits we have that hinder us from achieving consistency, and I will also be giving traits that you need to integrate into your belief system that will help you achieve consistency in the market. Without wasting time, let's get into the video. The title of this video is How to Become a Profitable Trader, Hacking the Mind, Part 1. For you to become a profitable trader, you not only have to be a good analyst, but you also have to have psychological skills that will help you with uncertainty in the market. This is where we start to hack the mind. We try to instill new systems in our mind that will replace the systems that have come to us due to our biological makeup. Becoming a profitable trader is not an easy task, but like everything else, with sheer persistence and a strong work ethic, anything can be achieved. Becoming a profitable trader is not how good you are at analyzing charts, but also how you can control your mind and actions in the face of uncertainty. A lot of traders, whether new or struggling, have a problem with achieving consistency in the market because they do not have the psychological skills that will help them become profitable traders. When I talk about consistency, I mean being able to generate reliable income from the market. New traders or struggling traders believe if they learn more about how the market moves, they will become consistent winners. What they do not realize is that 90% of what is making them lose is how they think the markets work, causing them to take actions that will not only damage their accounts, but psychology too. For example, if a trader is on a streak of wins while they maintain the same lot of position size, this trader will become too confident in himself or herself, and then sooner or later he will increase his lot size in hopes of earning more money. This has nothing to do with gender. I'm taking it that a majority of traders and the majority of the people that are going to be watching this video are going to be males. This is why I was speaking in terms of males. When the market goes against his prediction, he will be shattered and will think to himself that he needs to improve his technical skills, when in reality the problem was his mind. What this trader needed to do was keep the same lot size and increase it gradually as the account increases and as he gets comfortable risking more. So for you to be able to increase your lot size, you have to get comfortable with the amount of money that you are risking if you place a lot size that you are not comfortable with, and you won't be comfortable if you take a loss, don't use that lot size. Only take a lot size that you are comfortable with after you take a loss. So you see that nothing there had to do with his technical analysis, but it was all mental. The previous trader became too confident because he had a streak of wins. He thought he was immune to the market, and he thought he knows whatever the market will do. At least that's what he assumed. We cannot blame this trader because most of us have experienced this era, and most of us still do experience this era. Until you have taken a considerable number of losses and it has affected you, that is when you realize that you cannot really know how the market moves. So this trader became too confident. Once he became too confident, he decided that he wanted to make more money from the market. And how can he make more money from the market? By increasing the lot size or by adding more positions. Then, when price goes against his trade and takes him out of the market, maybe sometimes even by a slight movement of pips, he will think to himself that the problem was the way he analyzed the market and not how he thought after having that streak of wins. This is the wrong approach to trading, and I'll explain this as we go further in the video. There are a lot of scenarios I can give. All struggling traders go through similar cycles only because they have not learned the mental skills required for them to become a profitable trader. Focusing on developing your technical skills will just take you in circles because you will have ignored the psychological skills and you will continue making the same errors. The following is a list of some of the errors we can make. Make sure to have a pen and paper close to you or a notebook because these errors are very essential, and you identify some of these errors that you make yourself. Number 1, we will not predefine their risk before entering a trade. This error stems from association of trades, which means believing the previous trades will be the same as the current trade, not accepting that anything can happen in the market and wanting our expectation to be fulfilled. Unfortunately, in the forex market, expectations are not always fulfilled. This is why you need to adopt the habit of thinking in probabilities. Thinking in probabilities allows you to accept the outcome without any attachment to the result. When I talk about thinking in probabilities, I mean thinking in a way where you know that not every single trade is going to be a winner. But after a series of trades taken without any psychological errors, the outcome shows a steadily rising equity curve. If a trader does not predefine their risk, it means that they are sure of where the market is going. So why even bother? When the trade goes against their direction, they will feel the market has betrayed them. And not only will their account be affected, but their psychology too. If you always predefine your risk before entering a trade, you will find that you will be losing a small percentage of your account, but it will not affect your account or psychology. You will not even be tempted to make errors like moving your stop loss and closing your trades early, etc. So it is important to predefine your risk before you enter a trade every single time. This will prevent you from making psychological errors like moving your stop loss and closing your trades. Predefining your risk also allows you to lose small percentages of your account that will allow you to bounce back from those losses once you have a winner. So you now know why it is important to predefine your risk. I hope that after watching this video, you will try to integrate some of the principles or concepts that I am explaining. Number 2, hesitate as a result of an internal argument. When we have internal conflict, meaning we are battling between two decisions, whether to take the trade or not, we try to gather more evidence for taking the trade when our confluences are already present. But we have a fear of losing. Price will end up leaving your entry point and going in your direction. This will cause regret and pain greater than taking a loss. Most traders will make the mistake of entering the trade even if the price is way past their entry level, and they will have to place the stop loss further away from their entry level, maybe even not including a stop loss at all, making them lose a lot of money when the trade goes against them. Now you know why it is important to not hesitate when you have seen your confluences for entering the trade. When you see your confluences for entering your trade, do not hesitate. Predefine your risk and execute the trade. Hesitation comes from a fear of losing and also association of trades. If you have experienced a streak of losses, you'll be expecting the next trade that you take will also be a loss. This is also a factor that will cause you to hesitate to enter the trade. But I'm here to tell you, whenever you identify the confluences that are needed for you to enter the trade, predefine your risk and execute the trade. And if price leaves your entry point, do not enter the market. If you have to risk more, do not enter the market, because remember, any trade can lose. Not every trade is a guaranteed winner. Any trade can lose. If you have this instilled in your mind, you will not make the mistake of trying to enter a trade without predefining your risk, because you will know that the trade can turn out to be a loser. Number 3, getting in too late or not at all. I have already explained one of the reasons of getting in too late. The fear of being wrong is also a cause. Take, for example, if the market has not been doing what the trader was expecting, and now they think it is going to be a similar situation. What I mean here is association of trades. If you have been expecting your trades to go in the direction that you wanted to go in, and they have been doing the exact opposite, you will not get into the trade because you believe the previous scenarios will repeat themselves. So you see how the association of trades really affects your trading results. But we should not blame ourselves, because this is another natural characteristic that we have developed as human beings. We tend to associate our past events with present events that may be similar to our past events. But remember, every trade is unique. There can't be two similar scenarios, neither in the market nor in reality. There's somewhere where I heard that there can never be two similar scenarios in reality. I'm sure it's something that has to do with quantum physics. So everything in this world is made up of atoms and molecules. Everything that you see, the phone that the screen that you are using to watch this video on, the speaker, the headsets that you are using, your eyes, everything, your hands, the hands that you're using to touch this thing, simply everything is made up of atoms and molecules. If you go down into chemistry and physics, science in general, you will find this out. And for a scenario to repeat itself, it means all the atoms and molecules that were there at that particular scenario have to be there again. They have to be there again. And this cannot be possible. If the past has already happened, nothing can take you back to the past. You have to look forward to the future and hope for the best in the future. This also applies to trading. If in the past you have taken a streak of losses, you have to accept those losses because they happened, and you can only hope for the future. Make sure to keep your risk low and do not hesitate to take the trade. Just take the trade when you have identified your confluences. Number 4, jumping the gun. Jumping the gun is entering the trade early before you see a valid setup. This is what is known as fear of missing out, or FOMO. Most of you might have heard this term somewhere. This is a famous term in Forex. Struggling traders have this fear that price will leave without them and will end up opening the trade early before a valid setup is shown. Jumping the gun is a result of a trader who thinks of the outcome rather than the process of trading. If you focus on the outcome, you always feel like the market is about to leave you before it has made any significant move or has shown you any valid setup, because you feel the trade will leave you and you are leaving money on the table. The process requires you to only take a trade when your edge shows up, whether you feel it is going to be a winner or not. Edge simply means the probability of one thing happening over the other, or in simple terms, your strategy, what you look for to enter a trade. So you may look for certain support and resistance levels, you may look for certain indicators, you may look for certain candlestick patterns, anything. That is what is considered as an edge. Because if you take a trade, you are saying that you believe the market will move in this particular direction. So meaning you believe that one thing will happen over the other. So the process of trading requires you to only take a trade when your edge shows up, whether you feel it is going to be a winner or not. Some of the struggling traders, like the association of trades, after a streak of losses, they will feel the next trade will be a loser, even if their confluences have been shown. They will feel that their next trade is going to be a loser. But you should always take your trades regardless of what you feel or your previous trades. Whenever your confluences show up or your edge shows up, take the trade without any hesitation. Once you focus on the process, you'll find that the outcome is secondary. The money is secondary, guys. Once you apply the principles and concepts that I'm giving you, you'll find that the money will come in flawlessly. Trading is, the money will only come once you focus on the process of trading. If you focus on the money, you will ignore the process of trading and you will get burnt. So focus on the process of trading. Once you focus on the process, you'll find that the outcome or the money will come in flawlessly. Getting out of a trade too soon or leaving money on the table. Getting out of a trade too soon is a result of the market not doing what we expect it to do, and the fear that the market might reverse and take us out of the trade, leaving us with nothing. This error may be countered by waiting for specific areas to be violated before we can close the trade, and having a profit-taking strategy where you take partial profits and price moves in your direction. Most traders, even when price comes into profit, they will close their trades early out of fear. But This should not be the case, because you'll be leaving money on the table and you will not maximize your profits. So this error may be countered by waiting for specific areas to be violated. So you need to identify specific areas where you're waiting for price to approach or break, where you find that, all right, this trade is not working, and you can finally close the trade. Make sure these areas are made from a logical standpoint and not from an emotional standpoint, because when you trade with your emotions, you will get burnt. But when you trade with your logic, you'll find that you are working with the market, not against the market. And as the market makes money available to you, you take partial profits. So if it moves in your direction and has reached a certain percentage in profit, you take partial profits and you secure some money on the side, and you allow a certain percentage to continue running until your target has been hit. Moving your stop loss close to your entry point. I'm sure most of you have already identified some of the areas that you already make and are prohibiting you from achieving consistency in the market. We will get to how to counter these errors. I hope you are taking down notes. If you need a copy of this slide, you can find it on our Gumroad. I'll leave the link in the description below. This is also caused by fear and failure to think in probabilities. If you think in probabilities, you will be able to accept the risk of placing a trade, and moving your stop would not even occur to you. These are some of the errors traders make, and if you have noticed, these errors are all psychological and have nothing to do with technical analysis. If you want to make consistent profits in the market, you first have to work on your psychology and your beliefs. To be successful in carrying out trades without making any errors and only take normal losses, you have to think in probabilities. Thinking in probabilities means believing at the core of your existence that, number one, anything can happen at any given moment. These are some of the beliefs that you have to integrate in your mindset. So if you truly believe that anything can happen at any given moment, you will always predefine your risk before entering a trade. You will always put a stop loss. You will always have a profit-taking strategy, and you will always accept your losses. Because if you expect that anything can happen, nothing will affect you either emotionally or psychologically. You understand that what you expect the market to do will not always be the case, and you be cautious about anything you do. You will not even enter the trade late, because you know that anything can happen. And if you enter the trade late, price might begin to reverse and you may suffer a huge loss that may have been avoided by just sitting out of the trade. Number two, you have to believe that every moment in the market is unique. Every moment in the market is unique. The tendency of associating trades is what leads to errors. Let us say, for example, a trader has a streak of losses on his previous 3 trades. He would expect his present trade to be a loser. And you may take this as a fact yourself, and he might hesitate to enter the trade. The same happens if his previous 3 trades were wins. He would expect the next trade to be a winner, and he would make the mistake of not predefining his risk before entering a trade, because he believes nothing can happen. He now understands how the market works, and he believes that every trade he takes will be a winner, without thinking in a way that every moment in the market is unique. Nothing repeats itself. So what you have to understand is that there are always a different number of traders in the market. This is why every moment is unique. there are always a different number of traders in the market. People participating in the market are responsible for moving price. There will not always be the same number of traders in the market, and not all traders will be placing trades in the direction you are anticipating the market will move in. All these variables are constantly changing. So what makes you think the way price reacted to a level in the past will be the same way it will react on your present trade? Stop the association of trades and learn to accept the risk. I have explained this concept in detail, and I am sure you have understood what I mean by every moment in the market is unique. If you have not understood, you can leave a comment below and I'll make sure to reply. Or you can leave a DM on our Instagram channel, link in the description below. Number 3, there is a random distribution between wins and losses. No matter what strategy you are using, you will always take a loss. This is just the nature of trading. Even the most successful and experienced trader takes a loss with his strategy. You have to accept this fact. Failure to accept it will lead to trading errors. Taking a loss does not mean you will not be profitable. If you are sticking to your rules, both technical and psychological rules, you will find that after a series of trades, you are profitable. This is why focusing on the process of trading is important. When you focus on the process of trading, you'll find that the outcome will sort itself out. So let's look at the process of trading. The process of trading requires you to pick a certain sample size, meaning a certain number of trades to take that you will use to test your strategy. So it can range from 20 to 30 trades, whatever you feel comfortable with. Test that strategy without changing the variables. Variables meaning without changing the confluences that you look for to enter that trade. So if you look for support and resistance, if you look for candlestick formation, if you look for a certain way an indicator is moving, stick to that and don't change by adding another indicator or by adding other technical tools that you will use to enter the trade. Just stick to those specific ones that you use and have found to be profitable for you. So once you stick to these variables, look at the results of your trades at the end. Make sure to not also change the amount of money you risk and the amount of pips you target. So these are the things that you should keep constant. You should keep the confluences that you look for to enter a trade, you should keep them constant. You should keep the amount of money that you risk constant. You should keep your target level or the amount of money that you target, you should keep it constant also, so that you can execute your trades flawlessly and without any fear. Are you profitable or not? Before you go to a live account, make sure to test your strategy on a demo account. And if you are profitable, you can then move to a real account where you will have to start training your psychological skills. Remember, your psychological skills are thinking in probabilistic terms. On a demo account, you start with a demo account. If you're a new trader or you're a struggling trader, you start with a demo account. You apply the same process of trading. You identify a certain sample size. You identify certain confluences that you look for before placing a trade. You identify the amount of money you risk, either by dollar value or by distance value, meaning the distance from your entry point. And you should also have a certain amount of money that you target, either in dollar value or by distance from your entry point. Then after you have found out that your strategy is profitable on a demo account, after the series of trades, after let's say you pick 20 trades. So after 20 trades, you have discovered that your strategy is profitable, and you should be truly and utterly honest with yourself. After you have done that and you have proved you are profitable, you can then move on to your real account, where you have to start training your psychological skills, where you try to not make the errors that I explained in the error section. So you train your mind to avoid making those errors, and once you start training your mind, you will find out that you will start thinking in probabilistic terms. So those are the psychological skills that you have to develop in trading. Believing at the core of your being that these concepts are the truth and nothing but the truth. Continue to practice these exercises until you find yourself executing trades flawlessly without any fear or hesitation, and you are able to let the trade run without worrying about the outcome. Simply, make sure you are able to think in terms of probability. A random distribution between wins and losses is simply what it means. Random. When you choose a certain sample size, you will not know which trades will turn out to be winners and which trades will turn out to be losers. All you will know is variables you need in order to take a trade, where you will put your stop loss, and where you will be taking your profits. These are the only things that you are aware of in the market. These are the only things you know. The rest you have to leave the market to handle. So let me repeat myself again. The only thing you know in the market are the variables you need in order to take a trade, where you will put your stop loss, and where you'll be taking your profits. The rest you just leave the market to handle. The outcome will sort itself out. So, number 4, you do not need to know what will happen next in order to make money. I have already explained this concept. Thinking and assuming that you know what's going to happen next is what causes the errors. Let me repeat myself. Thinking and assuming that you know what's going to happen next is what causes the errors. This takes us back to the only variables that you need to know. The only variables that you need to know are the variables that you look for to take a trade, where you put your stop or the amount of money you're risking, and your take profit level or the amount of money that you'll be taking your profits from. But if you assume you know where the market will go or what the market will do, you will make errors when the market does whatever you do not expect it to do. And this is where all the problems and suffering comes from. But if you accept that you do not know what the market is doing, and the only thing that you can control are the 3 variables that I have mentioned, you will start to execute trades without any expectations from the market. Once you realize that the only things you know are the variables you look for to enter a trade, how much money you are risking, and where you will be taking your profits, the sooner you will free yourself from misery. Stop trying to control the market, because you really cannot control it. The only thing you can control is your mind, by knowing how to react in certain situations in the market. The rest, it is a majority of traders who do so. So, if you have a tested strategy with good money management, you can start to trade live with a sample size, and remember to not change anything about your strategy. Remember, the purpose of this exercise is to develop a mentality that will accept the probabilistic nature of trading. Another reminder, remember, execution without errors is key. Every error you make as a trader is a result of thinking that you know what is going to happen next. In the next video, we are going to look at how we can integrate these concepts into our belief system so that they can become a functioning part of our mind. Until then, it's goodbye from me. Thank you very much for watching the video this far. If you have gained any knowledge, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe with your friends. You can follow us on Instagram at MagnaFX Institute, and you can join our Telegram channel where we post exclusive content that cannot be shared anywhere else. You can also find this slide on our Gumroad, including other slides, also including a sample of a trading plan and the elements that are needed for a trading plan to be made. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.